Welcome to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. Go for good times, go for GoMart. With me, I have head indoor track and field coach Dan Meyers. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Jagger, thanks for having me.
All right, Coach. We didn't get to talk to you last week, but 2 weeks ago you were at Muskie Meet number 1, but we will talk about this week where you were at Ashland. Nick Pitchford broke the school record in the mile. He's second all-time in the 800 now. Patrick Riley broke the school record in the 5K. Aaron Kupner tied his own school record. Jenna Barnett moved into second all-time in the mile. You had several other PRs and some high placements. Just your overall thoughts on the team's performance.
Yeah, I think, last week was a great rust buster at the Muskie Meet. Just to highlight, Addie Cottrell was a transfer from Frostburg that we picked up on the throw side, and she had over a meter PR in the weight last weekend to move to second all-time. And we had some great vault performances from Jordan Taylor on the women's side and John Bowen on the men's side. But, yeah, moving into the Ashland meet, I was super thrilled to have those distance performances. Nick Pitchford, as a freshman, him and Pat have broken down some barriers for us, and they're still on the outside looking in terms of scoring spots in those events. But the best we can do is with what we have, and they're, like I said, they're breaking down our own barriers, and we're really pleased with that. And Jenna Barnett had a great race in the mile to move into second all time. Natalie Barr had a great race, and pretty much where she was at last year time wise at this point in the season. So she's due for a big one coming soon. And Aaron Kupner, great race in the 60 hurdles, and overall just some really, really good performances. Addie Cottrell, Janae Scott, Charlie Bauman have been anchoring our throws group all season. Been super pleased with them. They're great team people, and Ashland was what we needed, and we're on the kind of the back stretch of the season heading into February for championship season.
And you got a few guys going to Youngstown State this weekend. The rest of the team will be going back to Muskingum for Muskie Meet number 3. Your expectations for this coming weekend.
Yeah, Aaron Kupner and Mikey Galaviz are headed to do their first ever heptathlon at Youngstown to get some marks on the board. Hopefully, an event in the conference that we can squeeze in a few points. But and the full team's going back to Muskingum, a facility that we're now familiar with. Mm-hmm. It will be we'll be loading up the distance runners again, and kind of going into an off week. So this is a big weekend for us. This is where the performance list in the conference is going to start to tip, and hopefully in our favor. So our goal at this point in these last 2 meets is just to get as many people qualified for the conference meet. And like I tell them, you get into the dance and we can make anything happen. So, that's kind of our goal, and just really proud of this group. And we're young and we're hungry, and, we have some things to tune up, but I'm very pleased thus far.
And now you're pretty much reached the halfway point of the indoor season. Do you like where the team is at as of right now?
Yeah, I think so. We could be a little healthier, and I know every team can say that. Yeah. And we've been off the track the last 2 weeks. We've been training a lot upstairs and on the speed treadmills for all the groups. So getting some shoveling on the track done today. So hopefully we're back on the track for the rest of this week and into next week. So if the weather cooperates, I think that we'll be peaking at the right time and have the performances we need to get as many people qualified for that conference meet.
Well, Coach, appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this week.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me, I've head Wrestling Coach Dylan Cottrell. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Hey, excited to be back.
All right, Coach, this past week you were at Fairmont State and Garrett College started out the week. You won 8 out of 10 matches against Fairmont State, 9 out of 10 against Garrett. You really dominated in both of them. Just your thoughts on the wins.
Yeah, we wrestled really well Wednesday, and got a chance to go up there and rest some of our starters. And after coming off our January is pretty tough. We wrestle a lot, and we wrestle a lot of really good competition, and so we're a little banged up, and it was good to rest some of our starters, get some of our other guys some experience. So I was very happy with the energy that we went up there with, and got the wins where we needed, and again got out of there without any more injuries, and so. Some good experience, and then some of our guys that were banged up, got them back in the lineup to get a little match under their belt before Buffalo, and so it was good. And you get to see Fairmont, an opponent, a week before we go to MAC championships. So was happy with both those wins, and more so right now, it's just than results. It's how we're wrestling, right? The attitude and the effort, and that's been really good this last week. So happy with that.
And then you were at Buffalo to close out the week on Sunday. It was a close loss to a D1 team, 22-19. You won the first 3 matches. They won the next 3, and then they eventually put it out of reach at the end. Just how'd you feel the duel went even with the loss?
I felt that we should have won. We're losing by a point with 2 matches to go, and we're very confident in both of those wrestlers. We bumped Kyle Hammett up to 80 or to 97, and he's very capable. And I think Kyle will be the first to tell you that he was winning a match close and went for a big move that he probably didn't need to go for at the time, and it ended up backfiring, and he got pinned. And that hurts, but there's 9 other matches in the duel as well. It was, and so we're talking to Kyle. Anytime you have an athlete like that, and it comes down to like something like that, and their match ends up just being the point at the time in the duel that it puts the duel out of reach, they always think it's my fault.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's 9 other guys that got to that point. Right. And so, I think Kyle would tell you, hey, if I'd have just wrestled more baseline there, I would end up winning that match. And, what ifs. But there's 9 other what ifs in there, and there was a lot of what ifs for us in that. Guy Dalen Artis will tell you the same thing, right? He wrestled their best wrestler, a guy who's ranked 33rd in the country. And so if you're ranked in the top 33 in Division I, that means that you're going to get an allocation at least to have a chance to go to wrestle the Division I tournament, right? Anybody that wrestles in that tournament is a stud, right? Guy had his guy dead to rights.
With about 30 seconds left, I believe?
Yeah, we reversed him with 34 seconds to go. And on the scramble, Guy caught a pretty bad cramp in his calf. And, for the last 30 seconds, he's barely able to really walk on that because you can't call injury time in wrestling, right? And you don't get it because if you call injury time, they get choice, right? Looking back on it, could have possibly been a good choice for us to do that since he was already down. But, Guy continued to wrestle through it. And, but you could tell that he was more worried. He was thinking about that right in his head instead of the next position. Really good for him for the future, right, of something like that. He lost focus for 10 seconds on that coming back to the restart and ended up on top throwing in legs, which he never rides in a position instead of just being stingy and getting forward pressure like we coach, and ends up getting reversed, right, to lose the match to a guy who's probably going to wrestle in the Division I tournament, And so you drop one there. Where else did we have? Hayden Pummel, he wins his match, right? But he has a major chasing a tech fall, right? And then gets a little bit tired in his match and ends up giving up the decision. Hunter Ross wrestled amazing, right? But even him, right, he came off and he wanted the pin. He got a tech fall. And so all those little things add up, and we knew it could. And so, yeah, the overall reaching thing when I keep looking back on it is, in all honesty, is we kind of blew it, right? We should have beat a pretty solid, right, Division I team. I mean, they're a team who gave Michigan State a run, with 2 matches to go in their Michigan State duel just last week. They were winning 15-14 against a Big Ten team. So, you don't want to go negative on it. You want to go positive. Is all in all, I think our whole team knows that we're a better team than Buffalo, and especially with doing what we just did with 3 of our starters out. Nick Johnson can't be there because he's doing as active duty stuff for the Marines. Gabe's still hurt, Lorenzo's still hurt, and you go up there and I think 9 times out of 10 we close out that duel. It just sometimes it's not your day, and unfortunately, it doesn't mean too much with the duel stuff in wrestling, and people don't understand that. I do, but at the same time, we wanted to win this one.
Yeah,
man.
100%,
It's really good for the program to beat another Division I team, and so it sucks, but at the same time, that's about as much as I'm going to go into it because us as a staff and our guys have already talked about it, and we're ready to move on. And this is a positive week going into the MEC tournament where we think we have a really good shot as repeating as the MEC champions.
And you mentioned that with the MEC championship this coming weekend on Saturday, you're back at West Liberty where you won it last year, the first ever as a program. What's it going to take, to win another title this year?
So again, right, I think Buffalo helped us a lot on the little things because it's going to take the little things this weekend. It's going to take that 100% focus through 7 minutes when something doesn't go your way, when something, out of the ordinary happens. And then it's going to take, those other little things that we talked about, of getting those pins instead of the tech falls. Mm-hmm. And when we're chasing a tech and things start unraveling for us a little bit, being able to hold on to a major. So, obviously wrestling well, getting our guys into the finals, but on the way there, bonus points is going to be really huge because, us in West Liberty right now, in case someone just wrestles out of their mind, which can happen.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's wrestling, and that's sport in general, right? It doesn't happen on paper. But on paper, it's a pretty clear 2 race. And so that means that we got to get bonus points in matches because, they're going to as well. And so we got to go out, get bonus, and then find ways to stay focused for 7 minutes and win those close ones. And then, hope that some of the other teams give us some help on, beating some West Liberty guys and not our guys. So, Frostburg's a team in there that could help us some, right?
Did last year.
Yeah, they got some studs, and they got some studs in classes where West Liberty has some studs, right? And so, we'll see if maybe they get drawn up. We have our pre-seeds come out Tuesday, tomorrow. So I'll know a little bit more about that then and who we're going to put where and all that. But I'm excited. I think our guys are ready. We're going to have a good week of training. We'll deload a little bit this week and make sure that our guys' body feel really good, taper for the tournament, and then, look forward to, hopefully next week. And I think so, as long as things go as planned, coming back as, returning MEC champs.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Get ready to hit the road with GoMart. Each month, we're featuring a special item to fuel your journey and score you bonus reward points in our Road to Rewards promotion. Each purchase earns you a token, so load up and keep cruising toward big rewards. Plus, the top 25 token earners each month will receive 5,000 additional bonus reward points. Check the GoMart app to see this month's featured item. And as always, earn additional savings on products store-wide with reward member exclusives. Go to GoMart.com for more details.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me, I've head men's basketball coach Bob Bolen. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Jagger.
All right, Coach, this past week, it was a tough week. You started out against West Virginia State. It was a 92-82 loss. I mean, it was a hectic game. There was 57 fouls, 10 technicals, 35 total turnovers. You had 4 scoring double digits. West Virginia State had a good shooting night. They shot over 50%. Just your thoughts on the loss.
Well, it was a hard-fought game, and we have to keep our composure. Mm-hmm. We lost our composure. Had a couple technicals, talking to the referees, and then we don't do stuff like that, and we're not going to do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. A couple of them were double technicals where we're fighting for the ball or saying something, and we'll play a lot better basketball when we just don't let outside factors get involved. Just play. We don't need to talk to other people. We just need to play the game, and I thought that had an effect on the game, and I thought that's very uncharacteristic of us, to do those type of things. But we'll learn from it, and we'll get stronger, and we won't let it happen again.
And then on Saturday, you fell to Concord 92-85. Devin Collins, he lit it up, 26 points, 7 3-pointers. You trailed by as much as 21, but you cut it to 5 late. But Concord, it really felt like every time you made got closer, they would make a big shot and just had an answer every time. Just your thoughts on that loss as well.
They got really good guard play. Mm-hmm. 2 senior guards that are really good. Yeah, I think we cut it to 4, Jagger, and had a good look at a 3.
Yeah, on that steal,
we could have cut it to 1 and didn't hit that 3. But I thought that game, We played hard the whole game. We had a spurt at the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half where we didn't play very well. But, we kept our composure. We played a hard, tough game against a good team. And, take away a couple of spurts, we're close. I mean, last 3 games, West Liberty, State, and Concord, last year they were 38, 35, and 31 difference. This year all of them are single digit. Well, State was 10, but now they were at home this year. And, we're close. We're close to getting there, but, close doesn't count it. I mean, that's 3 straight conference losses and, have a game against a really good Frostburg team coming up here Wednesday.
And you mentioned Frostburg. You beat them earlier in the year, and you have Fairmont State on Saturday as well. But since Frostburg State lost to you about 3 or 4 weeks ago, they've won 6 games, and they had a 6-game winning streak going on until Fairmont State snapped it on Saturday. And I believe it was only a 2 or 4-point loss. They beat West Liberty earlier in the year as well, right after they lost to you. So when you look at Frostburg State, what's changed for them since the last time you guys played them?
Well, they got their point guard back, who is one of the best players in the league, and they're just solid. We caught them on a bad night here. We played really well. Was up 26 at halftime, and since that time they've been the best team in the conference. So they've really played well. They like to pressure you, and we've been pretty good against teams that press us, but that's what they like to do. And I think they got a real good point guard. Against West Liberty, he had 32, 10, and 9. You got to be pretty good to do that against them. And, they bring some guys in that can shoot the basketball really well. And, they're a team that's really on the positive track.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on, and good luck this week.
Okay, thank you, Jay.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me, I've had women's basketball coach Emily Stoller. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, Coach. This past week, you went 1-1. You started out the week against West Virginia State at home. It was your typical Glenville State, West Virginia State game. It was only a 5-point loss. It snapped your guys' 4-game winning streak. They had nearly 80 shots. You all had over 80 shots. Combined 50 turnovers. It was a really fast-paced game that it came down to the wire. Just your thoughts on the loss.
Yeah, definitely didn't show up to play the basketball game that night. We knew it was going to be a hard fight. You can coach, all the different categories. The category is going to stay the same when you play a team that's nearly identical to you in the fast-paced play and how many possessions that you put up on the chart. I think, like you said, one team had 80 possessions, the other team had 90 possessions. We're talking almost a 200-possession basketball game, and the perspective that I look at it in. Whoever plays the hardest and whoever does the most things effort-based, is going to come away with a win. And we were not the team that night that played the hardest. And, I think that the loss reflected that.
And then, but you bounced back on Saturday with a 76-72 win over Concord. Jade Salters had her best game as a Pioneer with 20 points. Nwando Kigbo had a third straight double-double with 17 points and 19 boards. Just your thoughts on the win.
Yeah, I'll speak on those two to begin with. I think Wanda's been playing consistently really well for us, and I'm really proud of her. She's really stepped into a really big role as a freshman, and she's showing a lot of consistency throughout the league and throughout some of our harder games here on the schedule. So proud of her for that. And then, like you said, Jade Salters, she's stepping up at the right time that we need her to step up. And I'm really happy about it. We were missing Tynasia Bunting in the Concord game, and we were looking for a few others to step up. That we have on the court, and she was one of them. So I'm happy. That she's kind of hitting her stride here late in the season for us. Hard fought win against Concord. Concord's a really good team. They've got some of our experience there, and Skylar Davidson playing on the national championship team, and our coach Kim Stevens here, and Sanai Morris, who played for me last year, and then also Madison May, who was one of Coach Kim's assistants during her stretch as a coach here. So a lot of Glenville State experience over there on that side of things. So they had a little bit of an inside look coming into the game. But a couple more big names on the roster there with Abby Smith and their new transfer in with Hickman. They have a really, really nice roster that they put together, along with the coaching staff. So really hard fought win. It'll be even harder when we go to their place, and I think the girls know that.
And then speaking about hard games, another tough week of basketball this coming week at Frostburg State and Fairmont. You beat Frostburg earlier in the season, fell to Fairmont on the road. It's kind of a tale of two tapes. So Frostburg's 4-4 in their last 8 games. Fairmont's got hot. They've won 7 in a row. Looking at Frostburg State, it was a close win earlier in the year. What's it going to take to beat them again, especially this time on the road?
Yeah, I think just a couple things strategically, just looking back on the last game, that we definitely have to make some adjustments, to be able to compete and to even be in the winning talks category at their place, because it's a harder environment to play in, different court, different arena to play in, and containing Emily Weekly, the number 1 scorer in the nation, is also going to be a huge factor. We didn't do too bad of a job the first game. I mean, I'm saying that now, but she still scored 22 points on us, but it's not her average at 30, so. Containing her the best that we can, and just, adjusting a few things here going down the stretch, looking at some past game film of, what we can do as coaches to be a little bit better, playing wise going into the next game.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this week.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. Go for good times, go for GoMart. With me now, I have head softball coach Sara Scoone. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach. Just quickly, we'll talk about 2024. You won 26 games, which is the most since joining the Mountain East Conference. You finished second in the South Division, which is the highest finish in program history. Ranked as high as number 7 in the region, which is also the highest ranking in program history. And you nearly missed out on the NCAA tournament. So there was a lot of good in 2024. But now looking into 2025, you return 8 out of your 9 starters in the lineup. You bring back Kylie Burdick, Megan Stump, and Madison Timmis through the rotation. Mix in some transfers like Roxanne Hensel from Queens University, which is a D1, and also Zaylee Seda from D1 St. Peter's, and a bunch of freshmen as well. Just give me your overview and your thoughts on how you feel the roster is constructed this year for some winning.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this coming year. I have definitely a core coming back, but more so just so much athleticism, so much experience. Every single one of those girls that are coming back and returners, they've been starting since their freshman year, which is so unheard of usually. So I'm very thankful for that. We do have key components on the mound coming. Kylie, Megan, Maddie, I mean, they're just great. They're so good at their craft, and I think that separates them from the rest. I'm excited about my freshmen that are here this year. What a good group that is. They've definitely brought a new edge to the team. And of course, the transfers that we brought in, Zaylee and Roxanne, are just phenomenal athletes, phenomenal people. I'm so proud. I'm so excited.
And I mentioned the 26 wins last year in 2024. The highest finish in the South Division, the regional ranking. What's that success from 2024 do for you as for your expectations for 2025?
Oh, man. I think the expectations are the same every year. Mm-hmm. We definitely want a conference championship. We definitely want to be regular season championships. But I'm so looking forward to this year because of that new component now where that was the first time that group of girls got to experience playing at that high of a level. Mm-hmm. We got to watch the selection show at the end of the year. That was something that was... It was just brand new. It was so, we're so thankful for that. We're so proud of the work that went into that. But now that we got a taste of that, we want that to happen this year. Like everything that comes with that, playing in postseason, playing in the end of May. I mean, that's what you work so hard for.
And now coming into this season, you got the Valkyrie Classic this coming weekend. 6 games in 3 days. First, last year you didn't start the season until February 24th. This year it's January 31st. What led to you wanting to start the season so early this year?
I think that goes back to the returners that we have. Returning 8 out of your starting 9 and returning such a core on the mound. There's not much new happening mm-hmm. here. So it is good to open up early. This is the earliest that we've ever opened up since I've taken this role. I'm excited for that. It, gives us another week of games where mm-hmm. we get to examine and go back to the drawing board, see where we are, understand what we're doing. So I'm excited for that. But definitely having that core of returners, it gives you that extra vote of confidence that you can go out and open early.
And then second, you obviously want to see, winning. You want to win every game this weekend. But what else would you like to see out of your girls in their first time out in 2025?
Oh, I love this question. We talk about this all the time. One, communication. This isn't your first rodeo. You've been out here forever. very familiar with the people that are on the field. I really, really, really expect them to communicate well, to move well, to understand their pitches. I really want to see them be aggressive in the box. I don't want any what ifs. We're a big small ball team. Everybody knows that. So I'd like to see small ball executed correctly. And I'd just like to see a lot of movement on defense.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.